The Wolfpack look to number 13, Andrew Wick. And Andrew Wick really showed last season. He is just tough out there on the mound. NC State had one of, if not the best bullpens last season. Coach Avent said at Media Day a couple weeks ago, he said, I would say, and Rodon was sitting right next to him, he said, Carlos would agree with me that the bullpen was probably the biggest reason why we made it to the College World Series last year. They really were able to help NC State out when things weren't looking good, when they were trailing. The bullpen was so solid, and Wick was one of the most trusted, reliable arms out of that bullpen. He's a 5'10", 175-pound senior right-hander from Briar, Washington. He's actually a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, so he was pretty happy a couple of weeks ago when the Seahawks just blew out the Broncos. He's the only Pac player from the state of Washington, so it kind of makes sense that he is a Seattle Seahawks fan. He spent his first year at NC State last season. Before that, he transferred in from Western Nevada College, where he was a starter and kind of learned to pitch from the bullpen. He's not a big guy at 5'10", 175, but he just challenges hitters. He can throw hard from that small frame, and he is just not afraid to go after guys. He runs the first fastball well up high. The batter is number 2, Ronnie Bernick. He reached on an error in the third and grounded out to shortstop in the fourth. Fly ball, right field. Suggs just a couple steps in to make the catch. Didn't have to move very much. And just like that, Wick records his first out of the 2014 season. Again, if you're just tuning in, Canisius leading NC State 3-0. Both teams have 4 hits. NC State has committed 2 errors. And really, they just haven't been able to get anything going with the bats. No runs for the Wolfpack. Canisius has scored in the first, third, and fifth. So if history means anything, they are due for another run here in the 7th, but not if Andrew Wick has something to say about it. He gets Bernick to fly out to right field for the first out. He's got an 0-1 count on Mike Krish here, the leadoff hitter. Make that 0-2 as he gets him to fan on a little cutter on the outer half of the plate. Krish, 1 for 3 today. A double, couple of flyouts. Turner's playing him really deep at shortstop. And this one's in the dirt. Austin able to block it. Now 1-2 on Krish. So Wick comes in relief. He's got a 4-pitch mix, so really he can be pretty versatile for the Wolfpack this season. And he gets Krish to strike out. A little slider kept him off balance. It's the 7th strikeout of the game for Wolfpack pitchers, the first for Andrew Wick, and just like that, 2 are retired. So it'll be the number 2 hitter, Jesse Kelso, now. With 2 away in the top of the 7th. First pitch, swing and a miss. So NC State, the number 5 team in the country, they're throwing Carlos Rodon today, so anytime he goes, you know it's a good bet that the Wolfpack are going to win the game, but they find themselves trailing here to a Canisius squad as Wick locates a little breaking pitch outside, 0-2. Canisius squad, not a lot of people know that much about them, but they return a lot back from last year. They're their pick to win the MAAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Preseason pick. They have the preseason player of the year as this pitch misses high. Fastball outside. 1-2 now on Kelso. But Lupins, the first baseman, voted the best player in the MAAC. It's the 7th straight year that team has been picked in the top 3 of the conference. Wick gets him to strike out swinging. And Austin looked like he bobbled it for a second. He was able to find it, come up with it. No throw to first necessary. So Wick gets a fly out to right and then back-to-back strikeouts. Now 8 strikeouts for Wolfpack pitchers. It's time to stretch here in Raleigh. NC State needs some runs. They trail by 3-0. You're listening to the Wolfpack Radio Network from Learfield Sports. Top of the 8th here, February 16th, the first day for college baseball here at NC State. Originally scheduled to start on Valentine's Day. Here they are on Sunday against Canisius College, the Golden Griffins. A mythical creature, but this lead is anything but mythical right now for the Wolfpack. They know they've got to get these outs and get something going offensively. Good news is that the starter, Ron Pierce, who's been so effective today, has now thrown over 100 pitches. He's at 101, and it's impossible to see the visitor bullpen from the press box here at Doak Field, just the way that the field is shaped. It's kind of hidden behind that hill where Avon's Army sits. You got to figure they've got somebody warming up, and it remains to be seen whether they will go with Pierce for the 8th inning or not. But right now, NC State has got to get some outs and hold this to just a 3-run lead. Andrew Wick back on the mound, and his first pitch is to the third hitter, number 33, Jimmy Lupins. Lupins 0 for 2 today, has been hit by a pitch. He leads off here in the 8th inning. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Now, Lupins is a big guy, 6 foot, 243, a senior from Wading River, New York. He led them with 5 home runs and also with 48 RBIs last season. Wick's pitch, a fastball outside, and it's 1-2 now. He was all-conference last year, again picked to be the player of the year in conference this year for Canisius. Hasn't had a hit yet today. 1-2. Fouled straight back. Austin pops off the mask to look for it, but it disappears behind the press box, well out of play. Wick came in to start the top of the 7th after Carlos Rodon's day was done through 6. And he worked a 1-2-3 inning, getting the number 9 hitter Bernick to fly out to right, and then striking out Krish and Kelso, the 1-2 hitters. Lost the handle a little bit on this breaking ball. It stays upstairs. Didn't bite down quite enough to catch the zone. So now 2-2 on Jimmy Lupins, the Griffin first baseman. Another pitch left upstairs. Full count. Wick taking his time a little bit. Usually a quick, fast worker, but with a full count, he's going to take his time here. Now he rocks and fires. Hit hard. Lupins lines one into left field. It's down. One hop off the base of the wall. And Riley, what an arm. You had heard rumors that he could really throw the ball, and he holds Lupins to a single on that liner. Now, granted, it was hit hard, and Lupins is a big guy at 6 foot and 240 plus. But he's not the fastest guy on the team, but he wasn't exactly loafing it out of the box either. And Riley able to hold that to a single. That could be a huge play. We'll keep an eye on that as this game progresses. So Wick gives up his first base hit, and it was hit hard. And the designated hitter, Jesse Pushchik, now comes up. He's had an interesting day. Struck out looking first inning, was hit by a pitch in the second inning. And then I said initially he had reached on a Logan Ratledge error. There goes Lupins. They try to hit and run, not going to get him. Austin, the throw down to second is in time. Brett Austin had all the answers to that test, and he guns down Lupins. Score it 2-6 on the putout. And just like that, you see how important play is by Bubby Riley to be able to get over there, deep left field at the base of the wall, and just put a laser throw on the money and hold Lupins at first because they tried to hit and run there. Mike McRae and his boys from Canisius forced to hit and run. There's a mound visit right now by Tom Holliday, the pitching coach for NC State, with Andrew Wick. It gives me time to kind of relay what happened there. And because Riley was able to keep Lupins at first, all of a sudden they've got a hit and run. Pushchik swings and misses, trying to protect Lupins because he's not the kind of guy that you would really let straight steal. And even though he swung through it and the pitch was a little bit low, not the easiest pitch to throw, or to throw out a runner, if you're from Brett Austin's perspective, he still was able to put it on the money. Had a nice pop time there from behind the plate, and shows off that rifle of a right arm in time. So Pushchik now 2-1 with one away, and the bags are cleared now. He pops it up, and it's going to go into foul territory. Now 2-2. Lupins caught stealing 2-6. On deck is Shane Zimmer, who's reached base twice today. Wick's 2-2 pitch. Strike three. He goes off speed, down in the zone, got Pushchik to chase, and he was out in front of it. And for Andrew Wick, he's got a pretty good strikeout rate right now. He's recorded 5 outs, and 3 of them via the strikeout. So here is Shane Zimmer, number 8, and the right fielder. Hit by a pitch in the first, walked in the third, struck out swinging in the 5th. That was the 5th strikeout for Carlos Rodon. If you're just joining us, Rodon getting the start today. His final line, 6 innings full, 4 hits, 3 runs given up. Only 1 of them was earned. 2 errors on the day for NC State. He walked 1 and struck out 6. Here's the 1-1 count on Zimmer. Wick from the windup, swung on and lifted extremely high in the infield. Who's going to call it? Turner wants it. He's got it. So Wick, he gets Lupins caught stealing thanks to Brett Austin, strikes out a man and gets Zimmer to fly out to shortstop, and that'll end the inning. So NC State will come to the bottom of the 8th, looking for some runs. They trail by 3. They'll have the top of the order, Turner, Austin, and Ratledge. When we come back here, you're listening to Pack Baseball from Learfield Sports.
Looking for a mechanic.
NC State baseball team coming out here for the top of the 9th. Trailing Canisius 3-0. 3 runs for the Griffins on 5 hits, no errors. No runs for NC State on 6 hits with 2 errors. Those errors have proved costly. Rodon, the starter today, giving up 3 runs, but only 1 of them is earned, and that was the first one on a ball that tailed down the line to open up the game by the leadoff hitter, Mike Krish. And then a little bloop double into left field that really wouldn't have been a double if Riley hadn't laid out for it, and that's no fault of Riley. He's trying to make the play, but basically if there hadn't been a man on second at the time, it would have just been a routine single, and a bloop single at that. So those 5 Canisius hits, not to take anything away from the Griffins, but it's their pitching that's gotten things done here today so far. Wick gets Taralba to swing and miss. Start things off here. The top of the 9th. Andrew Wick came in, pitched the 7th, worked a 1-2-3 inning, and he faced the minimum in the 8th as well, despite giving up a hard-hit ball to Lupins. Under normal circumstances, should have been a double, but Bubby Riley was able to get out there and a strong throw from left field. Held Lupins on first. He was later caught stealing, and so Wick only faced the 3 hitters in the 8th inning. Toralba today is 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs to short and to first base, And he also flew out to Riley in left field. Here's Wick's 2-2 pitch. Weakly tap to third. Kisner coming in. Nice play from the freshman. He had to come so far in on that play. By the time he let the ball go, he was only probably 2 steps away from the pitcher's mound at the most. And his throw to Kavanaugh was perfect. So Toralba is retired, 5-3. He'll bring up Connor Panis, the third baseman, who is 1 for 3. For NC State, they can hold this, keep it just a 3-run lead. They'll have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters scheduled up: Fincher, Kavanaugh, and Shepard. All 3 of those guys are 0 for today, so 0 for 9 as a bunch. So we might see a pinch hitter just to try to mix things up. I don't know. That's just speculation at this point. The Wolfpack are going to have to get things done against freshman All-American Alex Godzak. 1-1 pitch from Wick in there for a strike on Panis, 1-2. This Golden Griffin team playing their first ACC team since 2012 when they played a series down the road in Durham, North Carolina, splitting a 4-game series with Duke, 2-2. Strike 3. Little delayed call from Reed Churchill. A fastball on the outer part of the plate. Panis watched it, and he strikes out for the 2nd time in a row. So quickly now, 2 outs for Wick and the Wolfpack. And it brings up the catcher, Mike Booth, who's 0 for 3 today, the number 8 hitter. Wick rocks and fires 86 miles an hour for a strike. Boy, for a guy who's 0 for 3 and Mike Booth, you see a slider like that. And he throws him another one, same spot. This time Booth waves at it, didn't touch it. You see one more slider like that, and you're staring 0 for 4 right in the face. That is a tough pitch when Wick can locate it like that. He goes with a fastball this time, popped him up into center field. Fincher with plenty of time. He's under it. He's got it. And that'll do it for Canisius in the top of the 9th. And a little cheer from the crowd here, trying to spur this Wolfpack team on. They need 3 runs. They have 3 outs to do it. It's up next when we come back. You're listening to Pack Baseball from Learfield Sports.
ARS Rescue Rooter is Raleigh's premier air conditioning, heating,